Just so everybody is aware, we are streaming now at this point.
Hi, stream people.
Cough, 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 cough.
Oh, so now I should cough.
Yeah, now you should cough and hack up a lung. And also, don't forget to eat noisily.
Where's the cat? I would just put him up to the mic and get him to start purring.
Professionalism be damned.
On YouTube, he is just adorable.
Right. Okay.
What's professionalism?
I don't know, some kind of soup. Okay, so let's get into this now. Last we left off, a massive group of Griffins, Canadians, and the pony were heading out of the base just after an explosion was set off, leaving a giant fog bank, cloud bank right in front of everybody. Luckily, the explosion that set it off was meant to purely do this, so nobody really got hurt shrapnel-wise. Though, granted, there are some exploded trucks in there now. Also, granted on that, I really should have had Blue rolling at random just to see if he accidentally ran into one of them while he was in that fog bank. But that's hindsight.
Well, I mean, whoever I ran into was getting punched.
Alright, so attacks and pot shots were taken at both Siege Claw and I believe it was Feather Flame?
No,
whichever one has the big old broadsword is the one I punched.
Yeah, Siege Claw.
Yeah, it's both these two, I think.
Yep. And they were both taken off, and unfortunately, surprise, surprise, they have flame shields. Or what? At this point, we're going to coin the term flame shield.
Basically, a fire enchantment that anything comes within.
Not a melty. It's a hot air fucking bubble, basically.
Yeah, we're kind of a hot air bubble.
Which eventually Val's gonna practice with how to deflate that thing immediately. I'm
not denying that, and I have no qualms on that. I'm just stating the facts with what's going on. Currently, Siege Claw is holding a dead man switch, stating that here are hostages in the base, and if he lets go of that switch, it will go up in explosions. And all they want is to be let go and to leave. As this is going on, of course, right now, Val, Sapphire, and Blue are the only ones that are aware of what's happening. Rustical is now reacting to the loud explosions and energy going on.
That would actually be a stun from those blasts, actually. We didn't roll her real power.
We didn't, so since we missed it, I'm not going to worry about rolling it. However, she's under my control, so I'm just going to have her freaking out.
That's about the same thing.
Exactly. No, not even a worry about a dice roll. She's already freaking out. I love having control. And Toa is blind and basically looking in a random direction with two shields out. And Pope...
He wants control here because he doesn't do well in 14.
Yep. And that is about the size of it, outside of 3 griffins that are currently fleeing the battlefield. Silent!
One that got shot water at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silent. Silver went back to his crate of guns just to check it all out because he figured that nothing else was going to happen. That's the story, we're sticking to it. Right now, there is a griffin a good chunk of the way away from him. However, actually, could you roll your perception real fast? Because this happened relatively recently, and I believe that this would give you a good opportunity to see if you're aware that a giant cloud of smoke is literally right next to you.
Give me a quick sec.
No problem. But be sure to use the Discord there.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, if you need a quick rundown of how it works, just let us know.
Yeah, no, it's mainly I'm trying to bring up my character sheet and shit.
Oh, is that what the Kiwi looks like now? Interesting.
Kiwi looks about the same to me, aside from...
I haven't used the Kiwi since it updated. I just popped up the stream to see it.
Yeah, because I kind of needed this shit because I've been swamped with fucking classwork and shit. Alright.
Ah. So what are we up to?
I gotta do my perception. So, yeah. Alright. Uh. Okay. I'll go with odds.
All right, go ahead and go for it.
I already did. Already did it.
Oh, sorry. Right now there's a
It's
massive
better to
drama
call what
unfolding
you're
on a
going
Discord
for
server.
before we
I should.
actually hit enter.
Yeah,
Just so that.
yeah, that's 4
Uh,
out of 5.
Okay.
Actually, no. That's 4 out of. That's 5 out of 6.
Yep, you got 5 out of 6.
Okay, my fault. I thought I still had the right.
All right,
score.
so yeah, even though there was probably no doubt about it, at least we can confirm you became aware of a loud explosion going off behind you where your group was, and currently you are seeing a giant plume of smoke covering the area. You also see a griffin that was flying out of the smoke, slowly climbing up through the sky and basically darting his way out of there as quickly as possible.
Oh, that's odd.
Alright, so now Silver is completely aware of this of something going on. He's not aware of the situation per se, but he knows something's going on. Now going back, now we're gonna go ahead and go back. Sorry.
I was gonna say, so are we gonna have him shoot the griffin now?
That's up to him. That is entirely up to him. However, we're gonna go back to Blue, Val, and Sapphire, who is now in a catatonic state with a little bit of drool running out of the side of her muzzle there.
I need to come over there and smack you.
Well, what else do you want me to say? That she's staring blankly into space?
Yes.
Okay, she's staring blankly into space.
Basically, she's going to keep the sword at the ready. She, negotiation isn't her strong suit, so she's going to hold back on words for the time being.
Siege Claw is currently holding the explosion. You also see Featherflame walking. We'll just go with the trigger.
You could have just used detonator.
Yeah. I could have. Okay, but okay.
Really?
Okay. Siege Claw is holding the detonator, which is also the explosive device, which is also the trigger, which is also the incendiary round, which is also the MacGuffin of Getaway Scot-Free card. Along with that, of course, the party with him is watching both a combination. You got a few of them which are nervous. And of course, the familiar faces, a few of them are just watching passively, and the others are grinning, like they're holding all the cards at this moment. As Siege Claw iterates once again, let's take one step closer, and all your mud burrowing friends in there will die. You go
pull that trigger. We'll be just as happy to throw you in there as the hall comes down.
You already know that this trigger has been pulled. And if I let this go for any reason, there's no stopping those explosions.
There's also no saving you either.
So we're at an impasse. And I'm sure that
I'll make it simply this: hand over the trigger, and we will let you go.
If I hand over this trigger, I lose my only leverage. Now, I know you're not as dumb as these Roanians to imagine that I'm going to hand over my only leverage.
You forget how much we dogs prefer to stay to our word, as curious as we are.
Hey, wait a sec.
Why hasn't that one betrayed you for a higher paycheck yet?
Because our paycheck is quite high, and
I know people that
also
are much higher.
And also, we find that they are quite loyal when they're giving the proper motivations.
Hey, am I able to hear this through like
No,
through
you're
my
not.
radio?
No.
Nope.
I don't think any of us have. None of us have the thing open. I don't think
And
we would.
even if we did, the explosion would have
The
caused
explosion would have
static.
caused enough static, or probably broken a few devices.
Static or whiteout sounds. Yeah.
The
Cool.
explosion unfortunately did cause a static interference due to the large amount of aether being released as the trucks went up.
There's
They-
the words.
I was gonna say because if it was, I could and I was hearing it, I would have just told I would have told about what leverage theoretically that would just give as soon as he detonates it. That's just making it up. As soon as it goes off, it basically says you're fucked either way.
Now, I'm pretty sure that the fact is, whether Canadian or not, we've learned not to trust anybody in these areas, other than the ones that we keep well under claw. However, we are not overly cruel. This is a dead man's switch. However, it has a limited range. Just let us walk free. As soon as we're far enough away, even if I let this go 100 times, those bombs will not go off. You may not trust me at my word. I wouldn't even trust me at my word. However, I also know that you have an entire army combing these forests. And I'd rather not draw any more attention than we already have. So, Canadian, the choice is yours. Or would you rather the blood of all these dirt-sniffing Roan Indians be on you?
Oh, try the guilt trip. Try that again to somebody else who hasn't murdered quite a few already.
I find it.
But for the sake of finding out anything else you've got hidden in this dump of yours, and for the sake of keeping the boss out of our hairs, let him pass.
Can I roll a perception, see if I heard any of that?
Okay,
I don't
go
think
ahead.
you would, but you might. I don't know. Would you?
Remember, my ears are...
Well, no, I'm just asking, what's your range at the moment is what I'm saying. Where are you?
If you have sensitive ears, you would have
They
been
would,
affected
you,
by
yeah,
blast
you'd
as
be,
well.
yeah, you'd be in a weird, you'd be in the same state as Rusty would be.
Wait, shouldn't he technically be blind, deaf, and dumb then?
No, he's just snowblind. He's
Yeah,
snowblind
I
visually.
can't...
Josh can only turn. Whoops, my bad. Josh can only turn off one of his peripherals.
Yeah.
Well, he's supposed
and
to only.
I wasn't right there next to the
That's a check.
explosion, and I have the ability to turn off my ears if I hear a big explosion and just turn them back on.
You didn't say that at the time. You didn't do it at the time.
And granted, you wouldn't be able to react in that amount of time. It's not like turning a computer off and on, man. But in any case, he is snowblind because yes, I can snowblind one of his devices. However, it can only be one of his devices. So I decided to make him blind because I was hoping he would be stupid enough to start running around like an idiot.
Like he did earlier.
Unfortunately, not quite, but he was stupid enough to point his shields off in the wrong direction, so I'm going with it.
Alright.
But as for hearing, unless you have some sort of bionic or ultra-sensitive hearing, there's no way you heard the conversation. And if your hearing was that good, I would immediately have you roll to see if the loud explosion would actually have affected you. It is pretty much as they said. Granted, it wouldn't snowblind your hearing, but you would definitely have heard a squeal like two microphones getting too close to one another.
Fair enough, but I see your point.
All right then.
And I'm just doing that because I wanted to do the... If you're agreeing with if you're having a dick measuring contest with a woman, you are at a severe disadvantage already, my friend. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, no, you're not saying that. Instead, you're pointing your shields in the wrong direction.
I'm fine with that.
All right. And we have no worries from your blue buffoon here. Looking at the griffin.
Blue's just grinding his teeth. Or his beak.
Does he even have teeth?
He said beak a second ago.
He corrected. He auto-corrected.
Probably both, since, you know, cat and bird.
Let's not delve into that.
Let's not get into a physiology discussion. Move on.
So
he's just sitting there grinding his beak, staring holes into him. Mostly because, you know, when he's already been ignored, but that's not surprising. Almost all griffins in this world think that Blue is lower than the dirty dirt ponies.
You would think that they would just see you as a cripple, not really.
No, wings are status symbols in Griffin.
No, it's not just wings. There's a lot of things. Essentially, he is the equivalent of a how can I put this?
A eunuch?
No.
Not exactly.
Lowborn. He's basically the equivalent of a lowborn. He doesn't got the pedigree. He doesn't got the bird plumage. He's essentially, for all intents and purposes, a bred workhorse.
He ain't a real bird.
He's a real bird, and he probably holds him in higher regard than a Roninian.
I know why he is not a real bird to the.
Well, I'm glad that even at least this lower class griffin is smart enough to know better than to disobey a superior. Snaps his other claw, pointing off to the south. And the Griffins and Canadians start going down that way as he continues to watch you for a moment.
As soon as was it Siege Claw? As soon as he's out of the way, Blue books it to the back.
All right. So it takes about a minute. Of course, they're doing it uniformly, with a few up in front, then Siege Claw and his group, and then Fluffy. You also remember the nurse pony that was with them going with as they start to head down south. And they slowly keep going until they disappear into the forest.
Also, don't we still have a pyromaniac up by Silent?
Nope. And while that is happening, the other griffin to the north manages to fly away, though he is definitely a little shaken up and dripping wet. Rustical is freaking out and rolling around on the ground and looking around, darting wildly like a wild animal, because I said so. Silver! While these negotiations are going on, you hear the large explosion of the giant plume of smoke. You also see the griffin flying away. What do you do at this point?
Which griffin do I see? Hover, which griffin I see flying away?
You just see the one that's literally flying away right there.
Flying past you.
Let me just. I'm just gonna take a shot.
What? So far, your luck has held up even in this dice roller.
Well, let's see. Let's see if my luck stays.
All right.
And I'm going odds as usual. So that would be my 16, right? My usual 16. And I like odds as usual.
Actually, you probably should have mentioned if you were going even or odds on that.
No, we did.
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have missed it. I apologize.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. 16 dice. 2.
Yep, I count 6.
Yeah. Oh, 6 16.
All right.
And this wasn't a call shot. I just said fucking use what I have.
Yep, I did notice that you didn't do a call shot. All right, so let's see.
And who's imitating a squirrel at the moment?
What? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So you get a shot off, and you manage to pelt the griffin in the chest. Luckily, he has a little bit of armor, so he didn't suffer any massive wounds, but he has taken a few points of fatal damage. As he is now aware of you, and squawking loudly, and starts to book it towards the southeast.
Yeah, and then the one that was flying, what was it, south that I punched in the face twice?
He also managed to get away, but he is wobbly as hell. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so do you take another shot as it's making a run to the southeast?
Sure.
Alright, go for it.
Let's go for odds again.
Alright.
God damn it. Discord is acting stupid, so.
It's alright. It happens.
Yeah, sometimes Discord just likes to play us the fool.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, second, I think in episode
4,
3 or 4,
5,
One Punch Man is out.
7, 8. 8 out of, I think it's 8 out of 16.
Alright. And let's see. What? How did I... Oh, that's what I did. Okay, no, there. Alright. What? Right, I can't do that.
What?
Yeah, you can't hit up enter.
Yeah.
Nah, just
Holy
talking to
shit.
what I did.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. You take a... And you... How much did you say you got?
8.
8.
8.
You take another shot. Unfortunately, it looks like the bird is a little more prepared, and it manages to dodge off to the side. You still manage to get it in the wing as it comes down. Looks like it notices some people, and it's starting to meet up with them. But you definitely did some good damage to it. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to take it out of the sky. But it left a nice little spray of blood all over the place, so take what you can get.
And technically that leaves a tracking thing that we can follow.
Alright, getting back on track over at the base here. Toa! Your blindness clears up. As it does, you find yourself covered in fog. So, at the moment, you're not exactly sure if you're still blind.
I look down at my hooves. Because I have a light on my head. Do I see my hooves?
You're in fog.
Yes, but I also have a light.
How thick is the fog? Can he see the hand in front of his face?
Okay, Cat in the Hat. Unfortunately, you do manage to see your hoof. However, you pretty much have to have it right up next to your face, and you realize that the fog light does absolutely nothing in a giant pile of smoke. If anything, the light actually made it harder.
Alright. If I can. Yeah. And I will go the way that I recall there being a way out. So I go this way. And yes, I know. I was 10 around facing this way. It's still
You were
the way
faced toward the tree. You would probably walk toward the tree.
Or if you're,
I...
well, actually, he's just on the edge of the smoke, so I'm not going to punish him too much on that regard. He can find himself out of the smoke easily. But I highly doubt he's going to start rock climbing in the middle of a smoke fog.
Yeah, it's just that how the rocks are.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're trying to get to there.
Yeah. Whee!
Okay, you managed to fill yourself out of the fog after fighting an irresistible urge to climb rocks all of a sudden. Pope,
What can I say? I love rock climbing.
Pope, you see the fruits of your labor went well, and then unfortunately it got massively exacerbated with a giant fog smoke wall. At the moment, you think you can hear some voices in the distance, but you can't make out what they are saying. But it does look like, for the most part, there's no massive firefight or fighting or shooting going on. So it's just a giant thing of smoke and Pope freaking out behind you. No, you're Pope. Rusty freaking out behind you.
I can't see on this vector, and my last assumption was there's danger over here. So I'm ducking around the corner, pulling Rusty with me, and gonna try and console. Because Rusty is freaking out from the explosion, and Pulpe is hurt. Pulpe wants safety. So safety is in this corner.
Fair enough. Pope goes and hides behind the wall with a whimpering... Pope goes and hides in the corner with a whimpering Rusticle, dealing with the damage done to her ears. Moving back on track here, Blue Typhoon.
So he's booking it to the back.
Exactly. You start moving it right into the base. Do you go? Which portion do you go? Do you go down to where the trucks are down there, or do you go down the corridor that you see to your right?
I thought there was one straight to the back.
Yeah, well, you kind of are on the little edge here, so I wasn't sure. So you just continue to run like that.
Yeah, continue to essentially just run straight.
Okay, you've run straight in.
Ahead.
You run straight in, and you find yourself in a hallway. You see a large hallway with several doors to the left. Pretend there are doors there for the sake of continuity. To the right, you see a large area leading to what looks like a storage, and right in front of you is another door that is right in front of you.
When has forward ever not worked? Forward and body slam that door because I assume it's locked. I assume.
Okay, so you're immediately going to break down the door. Go ahead and roll for strength.
Let's roll 12 dice on.
Second, why would you not assume he wouldn't do something like this?
As much as the GM should try to assume what his characters will do, he needs to leave it open for all options as well in case they decide to do something completely different.
2, 3, 4, 5,
Fair enough, but...
7 out of 12.
You run right for the door and give it a loud smack with your shoulder. It groans unwillingly for a moment before snapping out of its hinges. Sorry, I couldn't come up with the right wording, but
break it off its hinge.
Yeah, thank you. You break it off its hinge and it falls flat on the ground. And you see several ponies sitting there tied up, and it looks like they have been drugged.
Okay. Are they tied to bombs or not?
Nope, they're just tied up, and it looks like they were tied up and shoved into the area there.
Oh, he grabs all three of them and takes them out. We're going back to search.
Okay. While he's running in there, Val! has probably walked away from her computer at the worst possible time.
I'm here, but I'm not at my computer. You're correct.
All right, Val, you see that they leave down to the south, and Blue immediately bolts into into the base in order to try to find the supposed blah 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 supposed hostages.
That's why she's probably just gonna stay on the outside for the time being. Mostly just to see if anybody else tries running in after him.
Okay, Val, you stay on the outside. Silver,
Yeah.
the Griffin flew the coop. You see the smoke wall right next to you. Doesn't look like there's any other sounds of gunfighting or arguments or anything at all. It's actually really quiet. Eerily quiet, in fact.
Alright, there's two things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move the guns in the middle of the street so I know where they're at. And then make my way to the cave.
Alright, let's see here. How much strength do you have?
Magic hand, so
Yeah, but you're still dealing with a large amount of guns that were all put into a big box. That's still
magic hand. My willpower is 4, so I would have to roll an 8.
Or take the average and see if it's enough.
What would be what would the average be needed?
If it's just your willpower, then it would be 4. Because you
No.
know.
No.
Yeah, that would be.
How much is the actual set of boxes, which we don't know?
Yeah, I probably should have counted. Okay, I probably should have counted here, but giving out the assumption that everybody nearby that's dead has probably been looted, with the exception of about 6 or 7 of them due to the being recent deaths, or dismemberments, or knockouts, or what have you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
The one thing I forgot to count. The loot.
Okay, about
I mean,
I'd say roughly 24 rifles. Rifles being, we're gonna go with they're probably a heavy little sucker, so about 7 pounds. So that would be about almost 100 pounds. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a roll of about 6 in order to lift that thing with magic hands.
And I'm doing odds.
All right.
So, and that's a perfect. Actually, no. That's
no, it's not.
Wait, no, it's not.
That's 5.
Yeah.
All right. So you start trying to lift the box with your magic hands. You do manage to start budging it. However, you can't quite get the heft and end up starting to push it across the field, which you still manage to get it moved over. However, it does take you longer than before, so you're going to be spending the next couple of turns moving it to your position that you wanted it to.
No, I'm just moving it to the point where it's actually to the point of where it's noticeable, probably 1 foot.
Well, what exactly?
1 foot into.
What type?
1 foot into the 1 foot into the street. So the way back, I know I can get Blue to carry it, since it seems like he would also want to work out from not
So you're
being
saying you want to shift it
up.
from here to here?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, yeah, you pull it off. I guess I was thinking a little bit more like you're trying to go from here to here or something like that.
Oh no, he's not.
All right, you do manage to pull it off. However, it takes a huge amount of effort, so you are feeling a little winded from it.
All right.
So while you're pushing the boxes, going back on Pope, you and Rusticola are hiding behind the wall. Rusty is freaking out.
Hmm. I don't know what would be good to roll to try to calm Rusty.
I would base my move would be from here to over here to see what's happening and then help with medical.
Yeah, I still assume we're in battle. I wouldn't go to that. I would probably go with diplomacy roll.
All right, go with diplomacy to try to calm down Rustical. Go ahead and roll.
And meanwhile, while he's doing that, I'm going to check my medical skill.
2, 3,
Well, you gotta
4.
find him first.
I moved that
You
way.
know what? Yeah, I'm being too hard on it. Okay, you go you see them over there huddling against the wall. And you go ahead and roll your medical skill then while he's rolling for diplomacy.
Okay, so I would have 10 for first aid. And standard demons. 6 out of 10.
All right,
Who's that aimed at?
you guys. He's checking you for injuries and trying to heal you.
Yes. Who was that
Okay,
aimed
and
at
by the way, do we
specifically?
know where we
Because
left all?
Toe up.
Do we know where we left all the pillows and blanket? Oh
You.
wait, it would be in the same area we're at right now.
I think you're still holding on to him. I don't think you dropped him at any point.
All right.
did you just
So
do a diagnosing, or are you actually administering health?
I'm diagnosing this round, and then I'll administer.
Okay.
Because I'm at least going to go the smart route instead of being, oh, I see you're injured. Let me just diagnose. And then from there, no, that's 2 actions. 1 action, 1 move.
All right. So you look him over. You see that Rustical is actually perfectly fine. Pope has been hurt.
Wrong.
I
Rusty
stand.
has a -2.
Okay, they're both
Yep.
hurt.
Pulpe has a -5.
They're both hurt. Rusty, Pope a little bit more. He is bleeding quite profusely. Nothing life-threatening, but it's definitely messy.
Mm-hmm. And since you did say I would have like 4 negative things to that, I've had this -1 for a bit, and I'll change it to 5. Sorry, I forgot I didn't add anything whenever we had that. But since I'm a robot, it doesn't affect me as much. Okay, so I'm basically looking them over and then deciding what to do. Ooh, next turn. Oh,
Alright.
second, what does Rustical do?
Well, depends. What was the diplomacy roll?
It
Above
was
mine.
4 of 6.
Alright. You managed to make an eloquent speech. We're not exactly sure how it works, but apparently it has calmed down Rusty.
Magic. That is the answer.
So,
No, I
Rusty...
didn't use a magic modifier on that. I just did a talk.
No, that's how
No,
things...
Hush.
Okay.
Let me have my stupid moment. Okay, so, but yeah, Rusty has calmed down, and now is just kind of sitting there still whimpering and definitely not liking the loud sounds that are still affecting her gentle bat ears. However, Blue, roll
Yes.
strength. You are literally carrying 3 ponies at this point that are tied up, and so yeah, it is going to take some coordination, so roll your strength.
Up two, always evens.
Is
I
it
probably
just-
should.
Is
I
that
should
just
probably.
strength, or would it also be a dex?
You know, I'm going to go with strength on this one.
Evens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 12.
Okay, you managed to pick them up. Somehow you get all three of them in your arms, and they're not super comfortable, but better than if they were in an airline flight. That's for sure.
And better than exploding.
Yeah. Okay. And then what do you do?
I'm charging them outside. I don't know if there's anybody else.
Okay,
I get them
Val.
outside.
Val, you hear a loud smash on the back end of the base. Shortly afterwards, you start seeing Blue running through with three ponies with three Roan. Yeah, we'll go ponies. Three ponies in hand, making tracks through the base as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so he wasn't lying. That's all she's got really to say at the moment.
All right, nothing else. Okay, that's no problem. All right then. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and just open this all up to anybody to do whatever the hell they want now. Okay, so Silent, do you have your crate out in the middle of the field? What do you do now?
I would just start, like I said, I would start making my way down to the to you guys.
All right, you start making
How
your
long
way
till this
down.
disperses? Just till this.
Actually, I was about to mention that. Yeah, as you start making your way down, and the ponies are being dragged out of the base, the fog starts to disperse here. It's still going to take some time for the moment, so put it a little bit more like that.
Yeah, there's still just the smoldering wrecks and the plumes going straight up.
Yep. Let's see. Okay. Speaking of which, where are my smoldering wrecks?
I think you deleted them.
Okay.
Deleted them.
Yeah, because we weren't in the area anymore, and they were taking us.
There we
I'm
go.
still sad I didn't get to flip the trucks.
I know you're still upset about not flipping the truck.
All right, Silent. Silver, as you get over there, you notice the plume. The smoke seems to be coming from three trucks that were apparently exploded and setting off large plumes of smoke. Toa, Pulpe, Rustical. How many turns do I have left on Rusty?
Blank, he rolled a 6, so what's that say?
Nothing. He's got to roll nothing. Your thing is determined by how often or if
you had her
you get it.
squirming
Whoever's
around
owner.
for one round, then the next round I popped around the corner and pulled Rusty into the corner. Then the
What should have
next
happened
round was
actually
the
is next time
diplomacy.
he
So
came,
that's 3 of it. I don't remember how much the 6 roll actually gave you.
that's not how it works. The way it works is every turn, the player who had her previously can roll again to take control back.
Oh.
We forgot about that, because it's the first
That's
time.
why you need to look at the sheet. You can always make a roll at any time during Josh's shenanigans to take control again.
Oh, I didn't know that. So I should try and take a roll.
Yep.
She might still be suffering from any status effects that happened to her, but you know.
I rolled a 1.
I believe that's still so. Yeah, she'll still be under Josh's control for a little while longer. You can use a style point if you really want to get control back that badly.
Not at the moment.
That's not for you to decide.
I don't know. Let him decide.
Yeah, that is still GM control.
All right. So Rusty is still whimpering and not budging anywhere for the moment, though she is not completely freaking out. So at least that's a bonus.
All right. Using the sheets, pillows, and whatnot, I do empty them. I do empty out one by pulling it out of my cavity, and then going to do medical roll able to see if I fully dress the wound or start dressing Poppy's wound.
All right, start rolling.
Alright. 10d6. As usual, even. I got 6 out of 10. And
All right, so you are able to heal 3 of his lethal damage, so you can get the bleeding down.
okay. So
Even with
basically, I wrap him up
non-conventional
in.
medical supplies.
Well, he's using bed
Uh,
sheets, so technically it is plausible.
Okay.
Yep.
So
And
So,
they
3
are
lethal down.
technically damp as well, so it's at least not a dry thing.
By the way, you lose a
so,
sheet in the process.
So 3 lethal down, correct?
I cannot.
Yeah,
I'm
3 lethal
using
down.
the little
All
pony
right,
that
-2.
I have deemed as a friend.
I'm just stating that what?
All right.
So has everybody forgotten about bedspread and the others?
Not really.
Does anybody
Not
check?
really. We just haven't seen. There's not presently on mine.
Yeah.
She's still
Also,
Always.
she's still bound. I don't know how the hell she'd be making any kind of tracks.
She untied herself.
That's a
Really?
cop out, and you know it.
Is not exactly. I actually did do some background rolls, and she does have the ability to untie herself. She got free and made tracks.
I'm pretty sure she won't get past the skirmish going on out there.
Nope.
Perhaps.
And
Did I just crash out of the game?
Well, apparently, Crimson just did. I don't know about you.
Oh, I just got an oops.
No,
The game
you're still
crashed. The crash report folder named yada yada yada.
Oh, there you go.
Damn it. Well,
There we go.
it'd be great if you send it to the developer. That was fun.
But yeah, I'm being a medical droid at the moment. And also a little tie into the backstory of someone taking care of him, now he's taking care of somebody else.
Sapphire might remember about the pony in there and might want to go check over there.
Yep.
Okay. So, we'll go ahead and have Sapphire, now that the smoke is cleared, has decided to go and check on the ponies that were in the other room here. She's gonna take her time getting there, so we can't, yeah. Alright, so Val, you see Blue coming out with a bunch of ponies, and the base is completely quiet. And Blue, you come out with a bunch of ponies, and the base is completely quiet.
well, I drop them outside of the base and go back in and start searching.
Alright, where do you go?
Same place that I went, but taking a left.
So you start going down this way. Alright, Val, you see Blue run in, drop off the ponies, and then start to go back into the base. Do you continue to keep watching, or what do you do now? Also, Sapphire also ran
Probably
off.
keep watching, move, and help move around the kind of guide / shovel them off to the side.
Alright, Val, you start moving the ponies off to the side there so that they're away from the entrance. Silver, you finally get to the scene of the wreck. You see that the base is completely open now. You notice that Val is off on the against the wall, apparently with a few other ponies that came out of nowhere. Sapphire also appears to be at the bottom right, going back to what remains of an exploded building. And Toa and Rustical are just slightly able to be seen hiding behind the wall, tending to some wounds.
You guys all right?
I respond back. The kids kind of got a little bit messed up. I'm healing them, but we need more medical professionals over here.
Hold on. Didn't she take some?
Speaking of
Oh,
which,
it's better than me.
Hmm?
I was going to say
Speaking
it's
of
better
medic-
than dead.
She did.
all right.
Well, I'm guessing that Pulpe's getting healed. He can't heal someone else because Pulpe would be able to heal Rusty. Because I think I've got a
Well,
better first aid skill.
Well, speaking of which,
yeah.
Toa, you can go ahead and roll again to use up another bed sheet to finish healing up Rustical. Not Rustical,
You mean
Pulpe.
I haven't. I didn't go with Rusty because she was just dealing with the ears at the moment. Okay, another 10. And going evens. I got 6 again.
All right. Okay, so you use another bed sheet and you manage to heal up the rest of Pulpe's wounds. Pulpe, you are now back to full health, though you are also covered in bandages, like some sort of half-wrapped mummy. Well, bedsheet bandages, but still.
Right.
I respond with, if I was built with more dexterous hair hooves, I would totally have done a better job.
Oh no, we lost Blanked.
No.
To be fair, I
Rip
don't actually need to be
crashing.
on the map. That wasn't me crashing. I hit X on purpose. To be fair, we're not in a combat situation. We're just going to be returning back to base. Not really much needed to be for me to need the map anymore.
Fair enough. But for a stream, it's not a bad thing.
I'm pulling up Photoshop. I'm going to start working on my actual D&D character
That's
for
fine.
custom tokens, because that shit's fun.
So you guys doing real like what edition? Fifth?
Yeah, I believe they're doing 5th edition.
Still interested in fifth. Want
Yeah.
to play because of the Ravnica book lets me play as a centaur.
There's
I'm
that.
playing a Knoll. I had to customly put that shit together.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
was
can
it?
also
Like
use
this.
it's easier to use fucking shit.
I don't
It's
want to use
easy.
shit.
No, it's easier to use fucking Roll20.
Yeah, roll
Um,
20s is good.
What's the name? Like, there's an actual website. We actually use the D&D website where you can actually put custom characters together.
Oh
Like,
no. For the game.
anyways, Josh, hit your thing.
Moving on.
Okay, so at the moment, okay, Blue, you continue to move down the corridor. To your left, you see a door. To your right, you see a door. You see a bunch of cabinets.
Just keeps running through the base looking for more ponies.
All right, he starts to explore. We'll just let him spend several turns doing that. Val is just going to sit there drooling. Pulpe
I
is
will
healed
fuck
up.
you in the head. I'm still here. I don't have to be in the map to operate, you twit.
You forget a second. He's right next to you, room Y.
Frickin' rude thing. Just because I don't want to be there in the map, be rude about it.
Okay, Silver, you do you do anything at the moment?
It's basic. No. Mine is just walking to everyone.
All right.
Jackass bad guys won. I'm allowed to be annoyed. Well, not one, but they managed to get away. So I'm allowed to be annoyed, and let's be honest, we all know we really don't need to do anything with the map anymore.
True. But this is character moments, and we've been kind of saying, hey, let's have character moments.
Yeah, my character is currently salty. I don't need to do much.
All right. Now, while Blue is exploring the base to see if he can find any other ponies, after a while of everybody just sitting around trying to heal up wounds. By the way, does anybody heal up Rustical at this point?
I think that's what Team C rolls.
Team C healing Rusty.
Are you doing a pizza run right now? Or
How long
you
have I
might...
been muted? Yes, I rolled I pulled out the medical kit and healed her.
Okay. Oh.
Which means med kit is down one of its 3 uses.
Okay. You went ahead and healed up Rusty. After a little while, Sapphire comes running up to you guys. Says she's gone.
Rip.
And how many
Well, it's their own
ponies,
problem for going
Blue
running out
say
into a
have?
battlefield, so.
What?
It's our own fault if she goes running into a battlefield.
And I asked, player-wise, how many ponies has Blue found / saved since
3.
we did that little...
Just 3.
Okay. Well, you understand I asked, because you skipped in time a bit.
Okay, Blue. So apparently, you finish checking up the front of the base, and you start to go down towards the bottom part.
Alright.
And let's see. Then then we'll Okay, Sapphire goes over to Toa, and Pulpade asks for their help to get the other 2 ponies that are in the blown up building out of the blown up building.
I agree to help, but I am still wary of the 2 young charges, simply because...
We're healed. We got bandages on, but we're healed. So we'll try to help. Or at least, let's see. Can Rusty try to help? No!
Can she fly? Ooh.
Or at least not by my control.
Oh, Rusty is now thoroughly fascinated by the exploded trucks and is looking over them.
I comment going, saying, we should really try and break out of a salvaging problem, but at this point in time, I don't think it's an issue.
Yeah, so I think we just agreed to go over and help Sapphire with that. What is the best route to try and get them out? I don't think there is.
Yeah, it just takes time.
Yeah.
Alright, as you finally get them out, Blue, you search the rest of the storage area, you find a lot of things, you find weapons, you find food, you find water, you find random personal effects. You also found the bombs.
Are they about to blow up?
It's bombs.
Yep. Well, the bombs look like that they're currently flashing red, which means that they are waiting for a signal at this point. Doesn't look like they are intending to blow up at any point, however they are quite armed.
Well, I've searched all I can. Time to go search those personal effects. I need a new pair of pants.
Alright, you start going back into the main area and you start searching personal effects. Go ahead and roll perception.
Isn't my perception? I think it's 4.
I think so too, yeah.
Second, can we just dump this quest? Blue six for pants is search for pants. Have that be a repeatable quest for him.
After every combat, it is a repeatable quest.
At what point do you just have multiple sets of pants in your bag to keep on putting on?
Well, this is the first. Yeah,
No,
this is the combat where it's first actively been used. It's the very first time I've had to use.
not really. The thing
Even
of it is
2 out of 4.
Well, you
Sorry,
do.
I'm a little. I'm sorry, I'm a little
Oh
bit
my
late.
god, nice.
Oh my god, she lives!
I'm
My
sorry.
ears.
I'm
no,
sorry.
it's okay.
I'm sorry if I wasn't there. I was doing another D&D, which I actually got pregnant in. It's like, oh, we're just going through this shit, you know. It's just like I have another D&D to go to. But we
It's
started that
alright.
one at 4, and it's like it's been a shit show ever since. But I love it anyway. I love it.
Oh,
But
That's not a bad thing.
that's not a bad thing. That my character got pregnant the first time she got introduced. Yay, pregnancy.
Rip.
You
Yeah,
actually
first
have
time.
that type of D&D going around.
No,
Wow.
no, it's a normal D&D, but what happened was that I got introduced in like the weirdest way possible because I have like a whip of warning, which it vibrates and glows when an enemy is nearby, and uh, when an enemy is nearby, and then it starts to. And then I said, "Can I have ice on it since it's an uncommon? I'm supposed to have a rare." And it's like, "Yeah, you can do that." And it's like, "Okay, what I want," because I was in the bushes or something, and then I
Okay,
technically,
I
yeah,
I get it. We're on
yeah.
stream right now, so.
Oh, sorry, forgot.
Alright.
And I need to get more pizza because I, yes,
It's okay.
man, shit happens.
Yeah.
wow.
Although, please tell the D&D story after stream. That sounds
Yeah, I'm
interesting.
sorry. Yes, it does sound interesting. Yes.
Alright, so where were we? The quest for pants,
Helping.
right.
Yeah.
The
How
quest
did
for
the quest for
pants.
pants go?
Alright, well, through all the personal effects, unfortunately, you could only find one pair of pants. They are slightly ripped, covered in oil, and they stink of about 5 days of not being washed.
Fine.
That
At
is
least be
enough.
decent.
But they are still pants. And probably better than the assless chaps that were off to the side.
Yeah. Yeah. The assless chaps. I want those.
And
No.
make no mistake, if you rolled a 1, those would have been the only things you found.
I would have worn them proudly.
Oh, look at the cute little badge that Crimson posted.
And I would have worn them proudly.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunately a lot more disturbing.
And the weirdest
Okay,
thing,
okay.
like, probably you guys
So, I
skip my
see
turns and
Lieutenant
everything.
Sparkling has arrived in the form of Rainbow Dash.
At the moment, yes. So, as you are finally getting things cleared up and the Blue is coming out showing off his brand new pants, Lieutenant Sparkwing comes up, looking at all of you, and you can see that his troops are starting to filter into the village, checking over the bodies. Just kind of looks over, looks around, looks at you. Is there anything here you didn't kill?
From what Val and Blue say, the squad from
Yes.
the mine is the only thing we didn't kill.
No. I didn't kill at least 3 of them. The one that survived the initial explosions.
That is fair enough, but you know what I mean. Basically, from what they said, Dead Man Switch, and there were actual hostages, and there's still bombs in there.
A little bit more brazen than I thought, actually, taking pony hostages.
Sir, at this point, I'm just happy we aren't having to have body bags for them.
Well, he grunts and he waves his...
okay?
He grunts and he waves his hoof over, motioning over for a few ponies to go over there and to start checking out the hostages as the from the medical corps. Meanwhile, he walks over to the base.
Hey, he'd stop him and say, there are, how many did I count? 8? 8 bombs in the corner that are waiting for their final.
Actually, those are tubs of water. It's just a few bombs in those trucks.
Oh.
Okay.
Whatever the ones that were set to explode. And he points those out to him.
Looks over.
Letting the officer go in.
He looks over and grabs a cigar, lighting it up, taking a huff. Take a lot more than some pansy-ass Griffin bomb to take me out. Still, we definitely want to preserve this place so we can see if we can find out what their next move is. He waves his hoof over, a few ponies in bomb blast suits start coming over to disengage them.
Also points out the the unconscious Griffins that he knocked out to him. So, like, I think Teal 2 and
yeah, there's some unconscious in the groups here,
and 1 or 2
that aren't
in that
dead.
group.
Oh God.
No,
What happened, Blake?
Listen, Haru is a gem when he decides to go hunting around for stupid memes. That's all I've got to say.
Okay.
We heard you. We listened.
Yeah, I know you heard me. You wouldn't be able to not hear me. Just. Anyways.
All right.
Alright, he takes a grunt of acknowledgement, moving his hoof over for other troops to start checking out the Griffins and giving them enough support so that they're not going to immediately die. Well, you saved some hostages. We might have some information. And unfortunately, half of this place didn't get blown up, so fine, job done, I guess.
Who just shrugs.
And looks over at Pulpy. By the way, why in the world does he look like he's off season for All Hallows Eve here?
Those points at those trucks. Yeah, those blew up. He was too close.
Gee, really? I thought they just spontaneously combusted out of boredom.
Nope.
The robot didn't have a medical kit. He had bed sheets. He still has bed sheets.
Bed sheets?
Bed sheets.
We can't explain it either.
He takes a semi-dramatic puff of his cigar. Okay, is there anything else we should know here before we start clearing out and leave this over to the ragtags?
Well, I'm the only one with med kits. I'm the only one.
If we sent a radio message about Devotional Duke when he went flying.
Yes, Devotional Duke was here. He managed to get away, and what was the face? The nurse from the mining town's hospital bedsheet. She was tied up in there. Points to the house.
Strip. Bedsheet was the inn owner.
Oh, inn owner. Excuse me. The inn owner was in there with that house with the 2 that got dragged out of there already.
Was?
At least that's what they tell me. Apparently she managed to untie herself and got away.
None of you did anything to keep an eye on her, or...
We're kind of dealing with the fact that we had a bomb situation and hostages.
I exploded and I was getting the hostages out of the building. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You exploded?
Twice.
Well, considering the looks of those pants, I'd imagine you did. All right.
What was it? 4 different bombs, and
There's a
she
lot
got-
of explosives.
Yeah, they're just
Not
throwing
a lot
explosives
of
everywhere.
Mars.
Yeah, I had to deal at least 2 Aether things, one an actual bomb from them, and a miss from us.
Then you see this guard comes up. Sir, we found a weapons cache. 24 rifles.
Don't you fucking dare. You guys better fucking explain it.
That's in character. We all just start laughing.
That's so simply because, well,
Hey, wait, why the fuck wouldn't I hear like these idiots talking about it?
You rejoin the group, so I'm sure you do.
They just barely said it right now that they found the weapons cache of 24 rifles.
All right. And since I am, where did you find them?
That's over there next to the pile of griffin bodies. Looks like they were put into a big old into a crate, apparently to be shipped out.
Oh no.
Did they have any bullets in them?
I'm sorry, ma'am. We didn't feel it necessary to check every single one of the chambers.
Because I have all the bullets. They're in my bag here.
Yeah, that's my now. Leave if you can't so kindly put that box in the truck. We're taking it with us.
The soldier looks over at the lieutenant. It just kind of waves his hoof again, and just like yeah, just do it. And they go off to start loading up the rifles into the truck. You know that there's no way that we're gonna allow you to actually use those.
No, we were gonna sell them.
And he wanted to sell them, I assume, to the base. That's the conquest / loot or whatever they're going to be saying.
That or you just use it as evidence. I still want the money though.
But,
I still want the money for these bullets too.
Oh no, we're keeping the bullets.
You have to pay me for them. If I took all of them. Bitch. You pay me, then you get the bullet.
I swear, you two look eerily creepy to each other, and it makes me ask questions I don't want to answer.
Right. All right, everybody, get in. We're gonna go ahead and evacuate this place. We're gonna leave it up to the mugs here to make sure to catalog everything and give us an idea of where it might be going on now. Looks like, unfortunately, this has been going on a lot longer than we thought. Base like this does not spring up overnight. What?
There should be a trail of blood. Hey, Silva, didn't you shoot a griffin and he was bleeding?
Yeah.
And didn't he fly in that direction? Points to where the blood trail starts?
Yeah. So, yeah, I believe.
That's how difficult it is going to be to track something like that. A flying creature, even if just finding the blood drops where they may have landed is going to be an act of God, and then figuring out if they actually, in which direction they were actually heading after a point, because of the fact they're flapping and the blood would just be flying everywhere.
Southeast. There they met up with a truck and drove off. Except for one.
What, shot in the face?
No, I didn't kill him.
What do you mean, except for one?
The blue boy got it right. Taken out by his own men. Or his commanding officer, I would imagine.
I'd be surprised that happens.
Unfortunately, this Griffin army is ruthless. If you're a weak link, you are taken out. Why do you think they did nothing to try to recover their own men out here on the field?
Yeah. Also, the one with the broadsword was trying to have a dick measuring contest with Val. He was at a severe disadvantage.
Look,
Unfortunately,
I
still in
don't
the
I don't
past.
care what kind of hot dog sausage party you guys are going out with. We all know that I have the biggest dick. Now get in the truck.
Because if you want an idea of how they treat everybody, did you notice he didn't look at me right until the very end? I was in Empire. The moment I stepped off the boat, they would have put a bullet between my eyes.
No, they would put you into the field.
No wings.
You're a farm boy. You don't need wings.
Actually, they would probably just use him as a worker, pulling stuff, or as you said, farming until he dropped dead.
Okay, Okay, there, little robot. Can you tell me the hierarchy of the entire Gryffindor Empire, starting off with the Supreme Emperor at this point?
Let's see, the Supreme Emperor, and whoever the Supreme Emperor trusts enough to be in power, and if he does not trust them, they're dead.
Is there any way to mute his voice box?
We
Yeah,
haven't
no.
found
They have tried.
If only.
Probably.
You have to figure out where it is and shoot it.
Trust me, I have tried that.
He's your problem, not mine. All right.
Oh.
Now, for the final time, get in the trucks. We're getting out of here. By the way, we found some remnants of your little fiery priest man. At least we found his clothes, right in the middle of a lake. No body though.
Yeah, he's gonna come back and get us again. And if he dares try to touch Poppy, I will personally sandwich him between my shield and not stop until his blade is gone.
One, no you won't, so shut up. Two, it's keeping Pulpe away from him.
Mac! Shouts out to a pony that runs by. I want you to find out everything you can about that pony model and how to mute the damn voice box. It's starting to give me a headache.
I am a custom model, sir. I'll have you know.
Can you give us?
Oh,
Everybody
give us
is
all
like,
we all start bragging, go up
Val
to the
signals to fucking Blue, grabs the bot, throws him into the truck.
Whee!
Give the Canadian another 10 bits out of the job.
I've never felt
And the
like
bird.
breaking him more than in my life.
Alright. And of course they get into the truck and start driving off as the remnants of the army continue to come in and dissect the entire area. And yes, your 24 rifles are with you in the truck. And we'll go ahead and
Hey, I'm at least trying to have more life in my character. Annoyance, but still life.
I can't argue the annoyance part.
I never say I will never be annoying.
Alright. So, now we're all back here in the base. And
Yay.
we've left Toa in the process.
Aww.
Yeah, it's a real shame. Alright, let's grab... okay.
Yeah. Real shame that you got a picture of you as a sprite on a lighthouse in a toga.
I almost feel like context is needed there.
Content creation.
Right.
Also, you're the one that set the challenge for toga.
I know I did. I'm just... Right. Okay. Hold on, let me see. I feel like we're missing some... Yeah, we are missing someone. Where is... Alright, so it's been forever since we've been here. That's funny.
Yes.
It's almost like it's been almost a year since we've been there.
Yep.
I don't remember whose room is whose.
I actually don't remember
Color
either.
coordinated.
It's supposed to be color coordinated, I just don't know whose colors is whose.
I'm orange.
He's
uh,
orange. Valor's
I think-
white. Pope's is blue.
Well,
I think blue's supposed to be out. I know red is silence.
I'm the yellow one. I'm the one with the sack.
Because it was all based on what everybody's colors were when we first started.
Alright. Okay, so after we get into the base, you see the lieutenant's already looking at reports that were hand delivered to him after communicating through the comms at the front of the truck. Wisely, he decided to let you guys ride in the back as he was up front, so he didn't end up throwing the robot out of the side.
I just made idle conversation with my crewmates and making sure Rusty and Pope. They were
Right,
not-
we put him
That's
on.
exactly
right
the
to back
point.
of the truck.
That's exactly the point.
Well, excuse me for being a darling robot, whatever.
Oh, right. The last time we were here, there was the traveling merchant who probably isn't here anymore.
Actually,
Yeah, he might be back.
for some odd reason, you see that the traveling merchant is there still. Though, granted, it looks like his stock has changed. So it looks like he may have left and came back.
Nobody believes that.
Yeah, I do.
Well, you guys been gone for a couple of weeks, so it's entirely plausible. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
It
Travel
was a long
time.
trip to the place we were at.
Mhm.
Then we took a long time there.
Alright. As you're sitting there, Sparkwing lights up another cigar, takes a puff, and just blasts and throws it off to the side. God damn it. Last time I buy a cigar from that freaking 2-bit hack. Where's the zebra fines? Alright. Okay, so here's what the...
Really bad, and the shield's not that bad. Tink, tink.
Alright, so here's the situation.
All right, what you got?
Alright, unfortunately, we have no idea where they went off to, but we believe we may have an idea of what their ultimate plan is, and buckle down, it is not a pretty one. So it looks like your good old friend, your good old, okay, I forget what is he, a captain or, yeah,
General.
yeah, I thought it was a general. I wasn't sure.
Your general.
/ admiral.
Your good friend General apparently has been looking into airships. Apparently that's why he managed to sneak in a little bump visit with you guys way back when. Well, we couldn't figure out why. Unfortunately, we've discovered a few things in that base, namely a new type of salt. A lot stronger, more potent version.
Oh, great.
Would've gotten
More
some-
super heroin.
That's what I was going to say.
So, apparently this has all been tied together. The mine, the airship, all of it was in development of a new type of salt. This one, 3 times as more potent, able to bring a pony under sway with even the smallest amount of dose. And along with that, keep them under sway for impossibly long periods. We've managed to eventually slowly detox a few of them, but it's taken weeks to get them off the salt, and even now their brains are completely frazzled. It's almost like talking to this robot, except at least they're not coherent.
Got you there.
Oh, laugh at the fact that someone was able to accidentally create life.
You were an accident?
I was found in the garden.
Explains everything.
Anyway. So, I'm sure that some of you can put 2 and 2 together at this point. But I'll go ahead and spell it out for you.
Crop dusting.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm.
Crop dusting on a massive scale. Airship big enough, get enough salt in there, can spread it all over across an entire city within a matter of minutes. Imagine an entire city being completely crop dusted with salt. You think your little zombie escapade would be a bad thing? Imagine thousands upon thousands of drugged up ponies completely out of their minds, hankering for another taste just after getting the smallest whiff of it. Entire town of them.
You know what is in a bad way, if this was to happen up in the colder areas where there's a lot of snow, it would be more helpful and harmful at the same time.
This is not that kind of salt.
No, it isn't.
You would. The
Robot, you're getting a
Alright.
10-bit pay deduction. And you're not allowed to speak unless you get the talkie stick.
I'm surprisingly okay with that.
The fun part is that talkie stick currently doesn't exist.
Nope.
Unfortunately, the real kicker is we have no idea where the this supposed airship is, if it even exists yet. Right now, we see that the plans are there, the salt is there. They have managed to produce it. Whether they are able to do it on a massive enough scale to spread out is unfortunately the big question, and it's not something that we can wait for.
Val, remember the first time we came across this dude? Could you identify the airship based on whether it fits the plan?
I can tell you what parts they'd probably need, what companies they'd probably have to steal from, but other than that, I couldn't tell you where they could work on it. The only thing I can think of is major.
They had it built by then.
They didn't have the airship built. There was a pirate airship that we came across.
Fair enough.
Pirate airships are pretty identified by particular markings and certain hodgepodge fix-ups.
So we came out with blueprints then? Is that what you said?
Well, not blueprints per se.
May I see what you have so far then?
The only person that would do this is the Mafia, because if you
my
get...
first thought is to let Rusty look over them.
Well, Rusty and Val, they both have knowledge.
He drops a dossier on the table. Unfortunately, there's no blueprints here. Right now, we got letters. We also have immensely circumstantial evidence, so there's enough of it that we could pretty much surmise what they're going to do. There is talk of airships, airfields. They're looking at different crop dusting techniques. Also, weather patterns. Unfortunately, we have no idea of a blueprint, so we don't know what kind of airship we're looking for. However, I believe you may have just given me an idea. Pirate airship. It'd be too easy for them to just use one from the
Griffin Empire.
They actually have a damn name. I'm just.
I forget. Just say Bird Empire.
Yeah.
It'd be easy enough for them to probably procure one from the Griffin Empire, but we'd see that coming a mile away and blow it up. No. Pirate.
The best bet would be a galleon, and probably one that would have to do a lot of external work to not look like a pirate ship.
Actually, they may want it to look like a pirate ship, especially since it would. Here's a situation. If they get all of the exact parts of any kind of a cedar, we're going to be right on top of it since we know what their plans are. But a pirate ship, we're talking a ship that's literally cobbled together by little bits and pieces of every other ship that they can find until something is put together working. Might just be enough to fly under the radar of most of our surveillance.
Then advantageous to stop and attack 3 pirate ships that you see.
He grabs it.
You know how many pirate legions there are?
Nope, remember I'm ignorant of that.
They're ignorant of a lot of things. One of them isn't talking, apparently.
There's no Roan pirates that would be willing to give them the time of day, especially if they knew what the plans were. No.
They could be on fishing boats. just
They would
disguised in.
However, I
They
think we got something to search off on. Kowalski! Yes, Captain. Kowalski, need you to look up any airship parts that have been bought within the last 3 months. We're looking for hulls. We're looking for storage containers. It doesn't matter where it's coming from, where does it go. Give me everything that you got everywhere. Not looking for anything specific, just random scattered. Yes, sir.
That man needs some coffee. Anyways.
Yeah, he works hard. Unfortunately, this is going to take us a few days to comb through the data, but we may be able to find something here. In the meantime, you're more than welcome to look at the dossier. We got copies of it all over the place. We're also informing the presidency as well as the top chief of staff. They're already starting to make efforts to go on vacation for a while.
that bunker that is in that hotel.
No. And nothing like that
Well-
exists. And if you mention it again, we will disassemble you and put you into 20 different pieces. In different robots. And scrub your memory clean.
I like my memory.
Then we never had this conversation.
She rolls her eyes.
As for the rest of you, gear up. This could end up being the biggest battle of your lives.
Isn't it always?
Sparkwing just grunts and smokes a cigar. She starts looking over the dossier for what appears to be the 15th time as everything is wrinkled up. And you are dismissed out of the comms office.
All right, seems like a good time as we start getting our interior up and running.
Yep. So
What do you think about?
Yep. At this point, you can gear up, armor up, item up, whatever you want to do for the time being. This is basically your leveling moment.
All right.
Yeah,
I like one
thing
more
would be
point.
putting would be great thing to be doing would be putting the ship actually put the airship together and arm it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I can start assembling parts mechanically. Airship-wise, that may be up to you.
You don't have knowledge with you don't have engineering knowledge for planes.
No, I
You
just
gotta
have
think.
mechanical.
If this is an illegal substance, you remember I'm in the mafia, so that's technically our job. Technically, the smartest plan is to go by sea and put it in the water, so everybody would get addicted to it.
Nah,
And
it
just-
doesn't. Once you dilute it like that, it becomes ineffective.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
So-
if you, it's
So-
salt water. Nope.
If it's that powerful, it wouldn't dilute it. It wouldn't dilute as much.
As much.
It can
But
still be addicting.
It's
yeah, it'll be like what.
the thing about salts is it pretty much lives up to its namesake. It is water soluble, but it loses a lot of its effect. It's a lot more. It's
I
a
thought
lot
it would
more.
be like, I thought it would be like more like cocaine. Like you gotta think,
Oh,
like
okay.
it's like bath salts almost.
Think of it more like drug addicted cotton candy.
Ooh, interesting.
Well, it's the best way to put it. I mean, yeah, some things would still have an effect while in water, but the dilution would be so bad that it probably, if anything, might give a mild head buzz, but it wouldn't have the effect that they're shooting for, which is basically taking over an entire civilization, an entire group of people.
Now,
But who would
civilization is
do
right
this?
word.
That's the thing. If they're going for world domination, why would they?
Well, Roan
You know.
domination, really. They just basically want to turn you all into a bunch of mud pony slaves again.
Yep.
But
They
It's,
did it once
uh,
before. Some of them want the old times
if
back.
they're going by airship, they would have to have something to dump it out on. They would have to have something to dump it, and then It
Well,
would
yes.
technically go all over the
Yeah.
ponies, and it technically make them into zombies
That's the
almost.
thing. That's the thing. This is like an airborne disease. Even if you only have it for a microsecond, as soon as it's in
You're
you,
still you're infected.
yeah.
I'm so glad I got a gas mask before all this.
27
Well, a gas
days.
mask would probably help you, but we're talking about a general civilization. Not all of them are going to have gas masks
so
at the
just let
ready.
Rusty look
Yeah.
over the dossier, and I did the roll using knowledge mechanics plus the investigation skill.
And
That is 6 out of 7.
all right. As you look over the dossier and all the information, it looks like the Sparkwings assessment is pretty sound. From everything that it alludes to, it does look like they are indicating that they are setting up for a very strong version of spice. One that's salt, not spice.
No, this is Rusty looking over the airship stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. With the airship
I'll
stuff,
look over
unfortunately, they don't have any blueprints or information. All they have is the talk about distribution methods. Looks like airship is brought up multiple times, as well as the notes from your previous encounters with the general, including on an airship, as well as missing crop dusters and a few isolated events over in some farming rural communities where salts were found coating some cornfields, as well as a few unfortunate souls.
Hmm.
There's one of two ways. There's either going to be one massive airship or a small fleet of them.
I have gone off to start working on a project, but also starting to make space for any parts that need to be made. Also, I can reverse engineer things. So
What?
if something's broke, I can either craft it with mechanical stuff or reverse engineer it if you give me plans.
I don't know what he's talking about either. Just nod and go forward.
No,
Okay.
I'm talking about if we're doing the airship thing.
Okay, so let's just start going through this one at a time here. Blue, what are you going to be doing?
What he does every time we come back.
Right,
Start training the squad. Because I
Okay.
really don't have anything else that I can / would want to do.
Okay, Blue feels like it's time. It is ready. He needs to bring himself up to give 110%. He needs to summon up every single one of the bits of his skill. He needs to be ready for the absolute war that is to come. So he goes over and starts punching soldiers and teaching them to punch back.
Exactly. That's how you do it.
It's not wrong.
I'm not saying he is. I just needed to make the joke because it's funny to me. All right, and then we're going on to Val.
Probably do research on the thing and see about gathering parts or seeing what else you can do to put the rest of the airplane together if it's needed.
All right, Val starts to head over to the hangar where the
Incomplete ship is.
where the incomplete ship is to start looking into what to do. Pulpe,
Is muted.
hopefully not going on an okay.
Brother hit the pizza from where I usually would assume the pizza would be. So
Yeah.
what's happened?
Basically, we're starting prep for
Ba-
possible final.
Basically since people were kind of getting their things intermingled on what they were going to do, I'm just going to every person one by one to have them tell me what they're going to do.
I'm probably gonna hang out. With Sapphire.
All
right, Sapphire, what are you going to do then?
I'm gonna go in my room. He can join me if he wants to.
Okay, we're gonna let them go into their room and leave the rest to the imagination. Moving on.
You remember we're brother and sister. Well, sort of.
I did not know.
Leave it to the imagination.
Imagination.
There's no wrong way to fantasize.
Thank
Yeah.
you for letting me
Okay.
The plan was to go back to the grandparents' house just as a
Oh
way to
yeah,
rest.
yeah, we could do
that
that.
was one of the things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could do that. We can do that. We
So you guys
just
are
go
gonna
back to
go. You guys are gonna take a trip to the grandparents' house at this point.
yes.
That probably isn't a bad idea.
Hey, grandparents, we're gonna die. Or we
Yeah.
may die.
Hey, this is my friend Steph. My friend Steph.
Okay.
My friend.
So apparently s- they get permission and they take a trip down to see the grandparents in the
Yeah.
middle of this.
By the by the speaking of which, I'm probably going to have to get probably going to need to get like a secondary car just in case when I either me or either when I want to leave on my own or with somebody else. If the guys want to stay here.
True.
We have military vehicles that we can borrow.
Yeah. All right. It's still probably a good idea just to have a backup. Well, for me, just have a backup car. So come on.
I'm basically back into my room to do workshop, have a cat on my head, and
Break
be
everything.
useful whenever it comes to making.
Why not? Oh
the
yeah.
airship.
Before I go, I bust into Toa's room. Just say this: fix the radios and at least make them more durable.
Can do.
Lies and slander.
Me, 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 and me and Sapphire are going to be gone like for probably a few days.
Yep. All right.
All right.
So they start to head off on their trip. Pope, what are you going to do?
I'm assuming he's going to be meditating and being willing to teach basic magics to those of the army men that want to learn.
Also healing.
All right.
So you're finally copying Blue and training up the soldiers.
I'm sure that some of them would probably have poked in during meditation and been interested. So there's probably going to be a smaller group.
All right. And while they're out doing that, while I still have control of Rusty goes and does something.
Works on the airship,
Probably
probably.
with Val simply because airship.
It's an airplane, not an airship.
It's
Yeah.
mechanical. She'll have fun.
All right. So since we got two people on the trip, we're going. Hello, legendary god. Hope you enjoy the RPG session here while we're still having it, which unfortunately won't be for too much longer at the moment. Okay, Val, you are at the airship and starting to take a look at what needs to be done along with Rustical.
Still need the rest of the hull, the tail end, and both wings, and of course engines. And I'm probably gonna need some armaments in form of heavy chain guns or something of that nature.
Alright. And it looks like there is basically a quartermaster in regards to the supply chain.
What was the total we got paid from that last one?
Yeah, you haven't said that, and I know I lost 10 bits, but
Okay, let me see if I have any kind of benchmark for like airships here.
It ain't cheap.
I'm not doubting that.
Yeah.
Just the idea is to go for something that's one durable, has some decent armaments, and two durable.
I don't think there's
think the
pricing on the
airsteel
airships
thing.
in the book.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
I
also,
know that
if I can at least get a vehicle pricing, I might be able to start off
I
there.
don't think
So.
there actually is one, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, they could have sworn.
Hold on, let me check. You at least have material cost, I think.
Well, some things you can purchase pre-manufactured, obviously.
Yeah, I guess it's more of a supply and demand here. So I'm just looking this over real fast. Okay, so alright, I guess we'll have to go with it. So I'm looking over the parts, and due to a wonderful fact that they are in military, so discounts and supply chains are a thing. They are able to get you the parts you need for about 20,000 bits.
Current total for her alone at the moment is 1,139.
However, there is one stipulation that they have that Sparkling can give. If they are able to classify it as a quote-unquote military vehicle, they can use the military finances to be able to finish up the Iron Tiger.
Iron.
However, that it also means that it will be a military vehicle.
You gotta take your poison, because at this point, even with all of us getting like that and having around $1,000, we're not even close.
Yeah.
Took a while.
Yeah, let's be a military. And plus, after we pay it off, we can have it. Yee.
We could. It's most likely we could strike a deal since we're working under the general. I don't know that we could. The plane we can use the disc. Do it could pseudo count as a military vehicle. But blank. But that's your call.
Sorry, give me a second cleaning off the thing. Wouldn't be an issue. Never mind, I'm not gonna bring that up. The larger part of the sum would probably come from more to the fact of the hardware, i.e. the gun ports and whatnot on it would be the most expensive thing. It wouldn't be too hard to say pay for the rest of it and have the military spot for the gun emplacements themselves. And then when everything's said and done, have the gun emplacements removed and just put observation bubbles on those particular sides, and military can have their guns back. Therefore, removing the military classification.
They'd have to agree to it, which I'm sure they would.
So you're going for a short-term military classification and then removing it when all is said and done?
Yep. Besides, if we need to get guns, we can just do a few other jobs and buy some different ones. I think I gotta remember. I need to look at the sheet again and figure out what kind of hard points and what I need to put together for it.
Okay, so basically you just want to have it military long enough to build it and then basically declassify it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which would be simply done once you remove the the weaponry.
Also,
Because initially that was the plan for the thing, is to be a just a transport shuttle. Right now, at the moment, the guns will be needed because the situation. If we end up getting into an air fight trying to chase down this said ship, we're going to need something to be able to knock out the engines.
Yeah, me shooting from basically the opening in the back ain't going to do much good.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, second, I would check out if we're going to be building it off. I would look at the materials on page 70. Is that 71? Yeah, 71 of the book. Like the hardcover book, and you'll probably find it in the PDF.
I imagine it being in the PDF too.
But I mean, I'm just seeing and looking for material as the actual name, but 71 on the books. Okay, that's all you got that you could work with selling to blank. guys want it to be built out of. RPGs, ain't they fun?
Definitely some research we'll have to do off the screen.
Yeah.
But we all know what we're gonna do.
Alright, so alright, so he listens to your thoughts on this. Sparkwing is partially okay with that. However, due to military restrictions, he still has to resell it to you. So what
I'll
he
still
can
be paying. I'll be well. No, the thing is, she'll be paying for a good portion of the actual material, but everything else that she can't pay, they can cover and put on the tab. And whatever fee they can come up with for renting the guns. Renting.
Yeah. All right.
Fuck was that?
oh.
World exploding.
I just saw something look like it rolled off my desk. I don't know what the hell that was.
All right, so he says that he can allow for that. However, he would still have to sell it off as military surplus afterwards, and it would probably still be about 5,000 bits to sell it to you as a as a decommissioned military vehicle after use.
All right.
That's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, that works.
And of course, it would be stripped of all weapons and military branding and the fuzzy dice.
That works. That works.
Hey, we pay for those fuzzy dice ourselves.
And plus, we can get the weapons ourselves again.
Well, it's up to one other person to decide on that. Val? Blanked?
We'll come back to this a little bit later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's currently going on, and let's see, those two are on a trip. And I think at the moment we're just going to go ahead and stop the session here. Unfortunately, I don't have too much planned for what's up ahead, and in all honesty, I'm just kind of out of sorts. I think that nap might have just been some kind of an indication of something else going on with me.
Hey, it's alright. We can come back next week.
Well, it'll give us time to get everything set up here because obviously we're starting to set up for a really big confrontation for all of you, and we're going to need a map. So yeah, I guess so for the moment, since you're at base, if you need equipment, you need armor, skills, experience level up, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah.
We now have the opportunity to do so. So make sure you look over your character sheets. Make sure you look over what you have, what you're going to need. And for anything that you do need, you want to do, things like that, be sure to put it in the RPG chat. That way, if if we need to discuss or we need to just iron some things out, we can go ahead and do so.
Okay.
Just to...
Matt, what's something wrong?
I want just I'll wait until the stream is over. If it's already over, I do need to tell you guys something that happened on the 15th. It was kind of shocking that, but I'll wait until the stream's over.
Right. Yeah, we're not quite there yet. So.
Okay.
Points distributing.
Right. I was about to get to that, but before I do so, with you two visiting the grandparents there, is there anything special you have in mind, or just kind of a visitation deal?
They're the only one. It could be like a reveal, reveal of you two are siblings, sort of deal. Yeah. Because they're the only ones who know. You can actually see in my sheet that they're the only ones who know. Me and Silent do not know, and if they see me, they would automatically know that, yeah, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. They didn't think this was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's basically the plan. That was basically the plan.
Yeah, that was basically the plan.
That they would reveal you two as siblings.
Yes.
Yep.
Nope, you're cousins. Distant cousins too.
Distant cousins.
No, Alright, well, we'll get that figured out then. But, okay, experience. Everybody gets 1 point automatic for being here.
Alrighty.
We'll give you 1 point for danger because you basically you did manage to face danger with a strapped down griffin and a bunch of his cronies and get away with it.
I don't think I get that point because I wasn't here for that.
No, she was.
Well, you still made it through in the end, so we'll go ahead and excuse it for the time being.
So that's 1 point for that.
So two so far. Okay, get one for roleplay. You guys did a pretty good job with roleplay there. And, yep, we were able to push the plot, so we get 1 point there and 1 point for wisdom because you all learned a critically important piece of information.
Alright.
Considering the fact that assaults covered airship is kind of a pretty damn important thing of information.
And the skill points, we just add 1 to that.
Skill points?
Yeah.
Well, basically, you get 5 experience altogether out of this, and you get 3 swag points.
3 style.
Thank you. Style points. And, yep, that is about it, unless anybody else has anything else that they want to add to the recording here before we go ahead and close it for the night.
Nah, go ahead, Club.
Alright, and in that case, thank you all for joining us for another RPG session. Sorry that this was a little bit shorter than usual, however, looks like we're starting to gear up for some big things to happen with our group. Will they survive? I'm hoping not, but I guess we'll see what happens with them. In any case, we will see you next week. Peace out.
Alright.